Welcome back. Now we are on an absolute roll here. We've just created the class token and prepended it to the start of our sequence of patch embeddings. So let's get a little visual overview of what we've just done. Equation 1, we've replicated the patch embedding sequence. Now we've replicated the class token. We're up to doing the position embedding. We'll get to that in a second, but let's just review what we started with. A sequence of patch embeddings of size 1, 196 number of patches, embedding dimension. We then created a learnable class token. We set it to NN parameter. We use torch.ones just for demonstration purposes, but in fact, you'll probably use, or we will use later on, torch rand_n to start with a random number, because that's the whole art of machine learning and deep learning. Start with randomness and optimize it some way, shape, or form. Then we prepended it to the patch embeddings. So you'll see that we've now got this learnable class token right at the start of our patch embeddings, or our sequence of patch embeddings. So now our shape has updated from 196 to 197, and that is reflected in the position embedding dimension. So here's what we want to do. Add position embeddings. This is where the patch and position embedding name comes from, and that's here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And of course, this will go up to whatever number of patches we have. This is called the EPOS, or position embedding, and EPOS is an element of a real number of shape n+1, so number of patches plus 1. We've already seen this. In our case, it's going to be 197 times D, the embedding dimension. There we go. Add a learnable 1D set of position embeddings. So this is to retain positional information. The whole thinking behind this is we turned this image into patches, embeddable patches using conv2D, but once you flatten it, the spatial information of the image is lost. So the position embeddings, the whole thinking behind it is that if you prepend these, well, hopefully we can learn the order that these patches come in, so that this patch is known to be next to this patch, and so on. The paper, if you want to read more, states a little bit here, but then there's more in Appendix D.4. But let's focus on replicating this with some PyTorch code. So we'll come back here, up to 4.7, creating the position embedding. I'm making you proud, Lao Tensor. So want to create a series of 1D learnable position embeddings and to add them to the sequence of patch embeddings. So this is going to be very similar to what we did with the class token. The difference here is going to be the shape, of course, because where the class token was just a single variable, the position embeddings go across the entire shape. So you might already know what sort of way we can create it. It's going to be very similar to this here. So if you want to pause the video and give it a go, you'll have to update the shape on this dimension though. If you gave that a go, well done. Otherwise, I'm back. I probably never left if you just kept the video rolling. But let's view the patch embedding so far with the class token. View the sequence of patch embeddings with the prepended class embedding. And it's very important what we're doing here. We're often checking the inputs and outputs of every single thing that we do, because that's really what a neural network is all about, is inputs feeding into another layer and then outputs of that layer feeding into another. So patch embedded image with class embedding, that is a very long variable name. Patch embedded image with class embedding dot shape, which is exactly what we've got above, but why not try it again? So here we go. So what we might try and do is create the position embedding with torch ones as well. And then in an ideal world, each one of these variables will have 1 added to them. That is because our position embedding goes across all of the dimensions here. So let's keep going. Let's try that out. We first need to calculate number of patches. Why do we do this? So this is because we don't want to be hard coding almost anything with our neural networks. We want it to be able to calculate itself behind the scenes. So if we did have a different n value here, it wasn't just hard coded at 196. It was inferring this from the data itself. So let's go back here. We know the formula for calculating n. Number of patches is equal to, we covered this before, int height. I'm turning it into an int because I want a round number. Width, it should be a round number anyway, shouldn't it? Divided by patch size squared. So then if we get number of patches, if everything is still set up correctly, we have 196. Beautiful. And then so get the embedding dimension. And really, ideally, we probably don't even get the variables height and width on their own. We just get this directly from the image, but we'll leave those how they are for now. And we'll go embedding dimension equals patch embedded image with class embedding. And then we'll go shape. We'll get the last shape there because our embedding dimension is on the end. Got a typo there, classic. 768, wonderful. So this will work now if we had a different embedding dimension. Now I want to create the learnable 1D position embedding. So let's go position embedding. This will be very similar to what we created above. Equals nn.parameter, so a learnable parameter of torch.ones. Ones is just for demonstration purposes. And we can pass in 1 here, or we could do batch size. Batch size, but we'll just do 1 to begin with. And then we'll go number of patches plus 1. Why are we going to do that? Because it is n plus 1. That should come out to 197. And then we're going to do it across the embedding dimension. So now let's have a look at the position embedding. Position embedding, and we'll get the position embedding dot shape. Typo, of course. And then by default, by the way, this is just going to have the requires grad equals true. So it's learnable. Very important. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got the right shape there. Now, how do we add this to our patch embedded image with the class embedding? So this is what we got so far. We've got the pink tokens. We want to add the purple tokens. Well, we've got that plus symbol. So we can just do that because they're the same shape. We can just add them together. So let's do that, hey? We'll go add the position embedding to the patch and class token embedding. So we'll call this patch and position embedding because that's what the paper calls it. And then we'll go patch embedded image with class embedding. My gosh, possibly the last time we need to type that long variable, plus the position embedding. So that's all we're doing. All we've done is replicate exactly what this little equation is saying. There's our class token with our sequence of patch embeddings. We're just adding the positional information right here. So let's get out the shape, hey? Excuse me, I just had to pause the video because I had to sneeze. But we're getting the shape of our patch and position embedding, which shouldn't be any different from what we've got here. What we should notice is that the values have changed. So these are the original values. What I might do is we'll get this down here. Wonderful. And then we'll go print patch and position embedding. And now we'll get the shape. So patch and position embedding shape. So patch and position embedding dot shape. Beautiful. So there we go. That's exactly what we're expecting. So have a look. We've got all these values. Now, because we created the position embedding with torch ones, we add it to the patch embedded image with the class embedding. And so each one of the values in here, once we've added the positional embedding, increase by 1. But the shape stays the same. And this shape is reflective of the shape over here. Position embedding shape, number of patches plus 1, embedding dimension. So we've just replicated equation 1. We've created the class token, we've created the patch embeddings, and now we've added the positional embedding. So that deserves a big clap. Well done. We've done the first layer, but let's get a little bit visual. We'll finish it off. So this is the position embedding. We started with the patch embeddings with the learnable class token right at the start. This is what we did in the last video. So we've got 197, number of patches plus class token. We then created the position embeddings in the same shape as what we needed it. So we've got number of patches plus 1 along the embedding dimension. We made sure that they're learnable, and we created them with ones for demonstration purposes only. So this is just ones is easier to see the difference between these two, but in practice, we're going to do it with random. And then we have a patch embeddings with learnable class token and position embeddings. So we have this tensor here. This is our image representation. That's what's going to feed into our transformer encoder. Here's what we're going to do. This is your challenge for the next video. You can pause it here and try to replicate this, but we've done equation 1. So in the next video, we're going to put it all together. Here's a little spoiler. Don't look at this and try to put it all together. Go from an input image, replicate the patch embedding using our patch embedding class, create the learnable class token, prepend it to the start of the sequence and patch embeddings, and then add the position embedding. And then we should end up with our tensor that we have here. So give that a shot, and then the next video, we'll put it all together so that it happens in a single cell, from image to embedding. I'll see you there.